equations with 3 equations. We want to find the solution for x, y, and z. The process I'm going to use is elimination, and we're going to have to do elimination multiple times because now we have 3 equations. So the first variable I'm going to eliminate is the variable x. So I'm going to look at my top 2 equations, equation 1 and equation 2. I want to eliminate the variable x by rewriting the second equation to cancel out the x's. So my first equation has 4x. That means to use elimination, I want to multiply all the numbers in the second equation by a -2. If I do that, then the x's will cancel because they will both have a 4 as the coefficient in front of the x. So I'm looking at my second equation and I'm multiplying everything by -2. So the first thing I did is I did -2 times 2x, which gave me -4x. Now I'm doing -2 times -3y, which gives me plus 6y. And then -2 times 5z, which gives me -10z, which equals -2 times -7, which is positive 14. So I rewrote my second equation. Now I'm going to add the 2 equations together, which will cause the x's to eliminate, which is exactly what I wanted. So when I finish adding those equations together, I get 2y plus 6y is 8y, minus 7z equals 26. So I'm going to use that equation later. Right now I'm just going to set that to the side. I want to now look at equation 2 and equation 3 and what was given to me, and I want to eliminate the x's. So I'm going to keep my equation 2 as 2x minus 3y plus 5z equals -7, and I want to rewrite that in order for the x's to cancel with the third equation, which is 6x minus y plus 4z equals -3. So I'm going to multiply my second equation by a -3. If I multiply by a -3, that will cause my x's to cancel because I will have a positive 6x and a negative 6x. So I'm going to go ahead and multiply equation 2. So I get -6x, and then I'm going to do -3 times -3y, which gives me positive 9y. And then -3 times 5z, which gives me minus 15z, equals -3 times -7 gives me positive 21. So all I did was rewrite the second equation. My third equation, I don't need to rewrite that because now I've made it so that the x's will cancel. So when I add equation 2 and equation 3, the x's cancel just like I wanted. And then I have 9y minus y, which gives me 8y. Minus 15z plus 4z gives me minus 11z equals positive 18. So now I have my 2 equations here that have the x's canceled. So these 2 equations, I'm now going to use my final process of elimination in order to solve for z. So notice I have an 8y and an 8y in both equations. I want to cancel the y's out. I want to eliminate the y's. So I'm going to rewrite this. So this is 8y minus 7z equals 26. And then I have 8y minus 11z equals 18. So I want them to cancel. I need to multiply everything in the second equation by a negative. So I have negative 8y. When I multiply by a negative, it becomes plus 11z, and then a negative 18. The reason I did that is so that the y's will cancel when I add my 2 equations together, leaving me with negative 7z plus 11z, which gives me 4z equals 26 minus 18 is 8. So now this I can solve, divide both sides by 4, and I get my first answer, z equals 2. So that was a lot of work to get down to z equals 2. But now that I have z, I can now plug back in to either of these equations. It doesn't matter which one I plug into. I'm just going to plug into the 8y minus 11z equals 18 in order to solve for y. So when I plug that in, I get 8y minus 11 times 2 equals 18. So 8y minus 22 equals 18, or 8y, add 22 to both sides, equals 40. Divide by 8, y equals 5. All right, I found y, I found z. Last thing I need to do is I need to find x. So I'm going to look at the original problems, or the original equations 1, 2, and 3. It doesn't matter which one I plug into. I'm just going to plug into the first equation. I'm going to plug in y and z in order to find x. So I have 4x plus 2 times y, which was 5, plus 3 times z, which is 2, equals 12. So that gives me 4x plus 10 plus 6 equals 12, or 4x plus 16 equals 12. If I subtract 16 from both sides, I get 4x equals negative 4, or x equals negative 1. So I found x, y, and z. The way we write our final answer is we write it as a coordinate pair, but in this case it's not a pair, it's a set of 3. So some space, so I'm going to put my answer right over here in the red box. So the x coordinate comes first, which is negative 1, comma the y coordinate, which is 5, comma the z, which is 2. My final answer is negative 1, 5, 2, all in parentheses.